we judge Job's wife, but I think one thing we see from this lady is speaking herself out. And one of the reasons why, maybe allow me to say this, is we commit suicide because we have issues that are ailing us, but we are not talking it with anybody, somebody. At least find somebody. They say a problem shared, it is half solved. One thing, viewers, when you hear a person, a spouse or a parent or a child telling you, I feel like I'll commit suicide, don't take it lightly.
Hello, good people. Susie Ledadem, living positively regardless. Doesn't matter the point at which you are in life, but we rock positivity all the way. I am born again. I'm reconciled to Christ, and I'm so happy about it. Are you reconciled to Him? If you're not, or if you don't know about Him, ask me about Him, or ask any other person who knows about Him, and you realize that it is so beautiful to have a fellowship and a relationship with Christ. So today, guys, I have brought you your guest, your resident guest. How are you?
I'm good, honey.
You are so lost.
Yes, but I'm back.
You're back?
How have you been yourself?
Oh, myself, I've been well. Yeah, I've been well. Obviously, I've been well. I thank God because He has sustained me through it.
Yes.
And here we are today.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
As always.
Thank you.
My darling.
Thank you. Wow. This is guys a person who tempts me to mix language. Have you complained that we mix languages and we leave some lost? Because when we use Swahili and maybe they are not able to understand, or we use Kikuyu or Kikirinyaga, they are not able to understand. But I promised them that we will be, when it comes to one language, we'll just use that one language all through to the end. So pardon us for that. It's Him who started it, and we have stopped. Have you stopped it?
We will be tame. And maybe when you use another language, we will be careful to interpret.
To interpret?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. So thank you guys for keeping it here at Susie Ledadem. Thank you for also, thank you also for being so patient with us when we make errors, when we go to breaks, because like now we have taken a break. For reasons maybe we'll come and explain later. And for today, I'm feeling like I want our viewers to hear about marriage because we are here. For those who are new in this channel, welcome to our channel, Susie Ledadem YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed, kindly do so. Subscribe to our channel.
Please.
Yes. And so I am the host of the day for today. Then he is...
I'm a resident guest.
Resident guest.
Yes.
So he's Mr. Muchiri.
Yes.
My husband.
Yes, and this is my beautiful wife.
Yes, just for those who are new in this channel, it's good. You don't assume that everybody knows you, right? Yes, so, and we are glad that we are here. Yeah, and there's so much that is affecting marriages. That's why we keep talking about marriage. And we hope and believe that there are people who listen and they get helped from here. So we also say that you could be there. You want to share your story with us. Maybe you have an inspiring story that you would want to share with the public to inspire someone and to encourage someone. So you can reach out at Susie Ledadem Facebook. You can also reach us at Susie Ledadem TikTok. You can also, and when you go there, kindly follow us even there. You can also call us 011, doesn't have a 70, it is 0112-522-118. So that is our contact. It's down here, so you can reach us and we will plan about it. So today, what are we discussing?
Well, I think, honey, these days we have escalating cases of suicide. People taking their lives. I don't know, these people are very dear to us. Some of them are our children, others are our parents, others are our siblings, and others are our very good friends. So in the society, in the church, many people commit suicide. And I thought we need to discuss this so that we can inform ourselves as far as escalating issues of suicide in the society are and how they can be alleviated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So guys, give us 30 minutes of your time so that we discuss about this, and also let us know what you think about it. So, of course, we all know that suicide is it's your personal action against your own life,
Right.
different from murder where you'll be killing somebody else.
Yes.
But suicide, it's to you, to yourself. You decide, I'm ending my own life.
We need to know that cases of suicide they are there right from the beginning, because in the Bible, both in the Old and the New Testament, we have cases of people who take their lives. And when I'm saying this, it's not like I'm using the Bible to justify people taking their own lives, but I'm just trying to say to the viewers, this is a phenomenon that has been there for a long time. Like in the New Testament, we have Judas Iscariot, who took his life after realizing that he has betrayed an innocent person, was so guilty, and the way he dealt with the guilt was taking his life. Also, as I say this, viewers, in as far as I say I'm a resident guest here, I'm professional, I'm a pastor, and I want to underscore that life is sacred. It is God who gives life, and it is only God alone who has the right to take life. So nobody has the right to take the other's life, and nobody has the right to take his own life. And so taking life, just as much as murder is sin, also suicide is sin. So we are not trying to say, to justify that there are circumstances where one is allowed to take his own life. Now, coming to the question you have asked, whether what are the reasons that lead to people taking their own lives? One is there are people who lose purpose for living. They come to what you call the end of the road. Circumstances have made them stoop this low that they don't see tomorrow. And for that reason, they feel they want to end it. And because they are not getting sick to die of illness, the best thing is to take their own life. Other reasons are relationship. Viewers, you have had incidences of two people who are lovers, a boy and a girl who are lovers. And just because your partner have now said, I've ended it with you, then you feel like your life begins and ends with him or her. And you have incidences of people killing themselves, committing suicide for that reason. Other reasons could be legal, where you commit a crime And you know, now this crime will put you in jail for many years. And instead of allowing yourself to go and serve that jail term, what do?
You take your life.
You take your life. The other reasons are economic. Viewers have a case of in one place I served, a man had so many camels, goats, and sheep. And those are the days when people, maybe you had people are called sifters, coming and stealing these hands of animals, and he was grazing, and the sifters came. And this man had hundreds of camels, was a rich man, goats and sheep. And they were all taken by the sifter, and he could see them going. And when he saw the dust is settled, meaning they are gone, he said, all my animals are finished. I am also finished. And he committed suicide. He killed himself. Economic reasons, where you had a big building, you have invested a lot in it, and then you are told you built in the wrong place, and then the bulldozers come and pull it down. It's like they take your whole life, and you lose the purpose for living.
Wow.
Others could be medical, honey, where I go and see a doctor and I'm diagnosed of a certain terminal illness like HIV and AIDS or cancer. And it's like that doctor has just pronounced a death sentence for me. So what would I do? I will end up taking my life, because I imagine that kind of illness means the end of my life. And maybe there are other conditions that are psychiatrist. You know, this is a person who commits a suicide, not because he intends to do it, just because he is sick mentally. He is a psychiatric case. I don't know whether I've...
Yes, you have answered it so well.
Yeah.
And it's true. There are all those reasons,
Yes.
economic, as you have just listed
Yes,
them. I don't
yes.
need to repeat them.
Yeah.
But now the question is, they are not unique to any man. The reason you are able to articulate
Yes.
one by one,
Yes.
it's because these are the normal things that happen in life. You are not planning to commit suicide, but yet you know, if you are to, you have not had someone who has committed suicide now, that's why you're able to associate why they have committed. But you are saying in general case, what would make one to commit suicide?
Suicide, yes.
Meaning these are things that happens to many people in life. Socioeconomic things, many people have lost.
Yes, yes.
Well, the social things,
Yes, yes.
many people have lost lovers. I mean, every bit of what you have mentioned. So what is this unique thing that makes a difference that Susan has lost a lover, whether left for another woman, whether left for maybe death has come in, whether left for any reason, and another person be here have lost a lover and have decided, I cannot continue to live. Susan have decided, I'll continue. What's the difference between these two people?
Between the two, it's maybe from where I am as a pastor, I would say is, where do you place your trust? Because if you place your trust on the material things that we see, and then when they are taken away from you, they become the end of your life. So this person who takes his life because has lost property, has lost a lover, the relationships have gone south, I would say the main problem is that they believe that those things are the beginning and the end of their lives. And so they don't want to think that that is tomorrow can present with something else. But this other person, I don't want to appear to be preaching here. Yeah, believes that I serve a living God who is on the throne, and this my lover has left me, but she or he is not the end and the beginning of the Lord. The one who gave me these ones can still give a different one. Yes, I have lost all these animals, like now my friend I've talked about. If only he knew it is God who gave him all those things, and these ones have gone, but the same God is still on the throne. He can still give. We have in the Bible the case of Job, who lost his children, his wealth, and even his health, but still believed that God is still able to sustain him, restore his health, and even replenish what he had lost. And what we realize is that Job waited, and his end was even better than his beginning. So the difference is the one who takes his life or her life feels whatever he owns or she owns is the end and the beginning of his life. But this other one believes that it is God who gave him. Yes, it is painful to lose a life investment, but God is still there. He can still provide more. All right? So that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Wow. Allow us to preach a little, as much as saying you don't want to preach here.
Yes, yes.
Because that's the solution anyway. There's no any other way.
Yeah.
Because I think what you have said is very important. Where do you put your trust in? Because yes, these things can, and you have given a very good example about Job. Because sometimes you meet with someone who is already feeling hopeless. Because actually now the bottom line of committing suicide is the situation of hopelessness, regardless of the trigger. Because if it's a lover who has gone, you're feeling hopeless. If it's material things you have lost, you're still feeling hopeless. If it's a sickness that has been pronounced, you still feel hopeless. So the underlying thing is hopelessness.
Yes.
So I feel like, where do we turn to when we get to this situation of hopelessness? And also to feel that this is not unique to you. And when it comes to, when you go to someone who is going through pain and they are in a hopeless situation, if you try to tell them to hold on a little bit, don't take your life, they are wondering, hold on to what? Because as they can look, everything is just turning out from bad to worse, and now they can't imagine from worse to where. But that example of Job, if you just hold on a little bit more to what? To time. Just hold on.
Give it time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And God, let God, because if you are to die anyway, you will still die. If that problem was meant to kill you, you will still die.
Right.
So don't hurry the death. Wait for it if the problem was meant to kill you.
Yes.
But what if you held a little bit, you waited and see how far it can take you, and at what point will God come in? Because now when you die, no, there is no other hope. We are waiting. If Job, because I think Job is a perfect example. Because moving from one step, losing one thing, the other, the other,
losing
to the
utterly
children,
everything to the extent, and really I don't, there are people who judge Job's wife harshly. I don't like doing that, because I imagine this woman had seen it all, had seen all the wealth they had created, they had made, finished. She had seen all her children that she has born, all of them finished. She had seen all the servants
Finished.
And then the husband. And sometimes the person, the dependent is hurt more than the infected person.
True.
And so when she is saying,
curse this God.
Hi.
But hey, let me ask you, Pastor, where did Job's wife go? Did she die?
I'm sure she died, because the Bible doesn't talk a little bit anymore about her.
Because I see the Bible now talking of him getting better children.
Yes.
Right? Is it recorded that he got more beautiful
than the ones?
The ones, eh?
That
so I don't know whether it is because he married a more beautiful wife.
We are not told of marrying. Maybe the same wife.
That is my question. That is my question. Is he remarry or is the same wife?
Yes.
Assuming it's the same wife, and God forgive me if it's not. Assuming it's the same wife, I would rather. She's okay. She didn't commit suicide. She just said, "Curse God." But she still held on. So for me, my call would be to someone feeling hopeless. You just hold on to anything.
Yes.
Even what we judge the wife so harshly that Alisema, she said, "Let us curse God." Even saying that, you just don't curse God.
Yes.
Even saying you feel like cursing God, you just say, "But don't curse God." I would rather you hold on to whatever it is until that time comes. So if you're there and you're feeling so hopeless, like so low, or if you ever get to that point, I think the idea is hold on, and trust in God.
And trust in God, where you put your trust on higher things, not on the low things. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 16 through to the end, and even Luke chapter 5, beginning 1 following, where Paul says that we walk not by sight, but by faith. Yeah, if we are pride a little bit of the eyes of faith in our personal predicament, then you will be able to see much more than the problems we are going through now. When Paul says that now we put our eyes not on the things that we see, but on the things we do not see, because the things we see are temporary, but the ones that we don't see with these our naked eyes are eternal. Therefore, the belief that yes, things are terribly bad, and I want to admit that things that lead to one committing suicide, I'm not belittling them. They are heavy. When a person is reconsidering, this is the end of my load, because they say suicide is a way of removing pain from myself and also removing pain from my dependents. Yeah, you find yourself, you are a problem to yourself, but also a problem to your family and to your friends. So to solve this, you want to eliminate yourself. But the importance is, if only you waited, as you said, just give it a day. If it is not over by a day, give it a week. If it's not over by a week, give it a month. If it's not over by a month, give it an year. If it's not over by an year, give it years.
And look around and realize it's not only unique to you.
It's not
you
only.
You want to be the first one to have created wealth and lost it at once.
You talk of we judge Job's wife, but I think one thing we see from this lady is speaking herself out. And one of the reasons why, maybe allow me to say this, is we commit suicide because we have issues that are ailing us, but we are not talking it with somebody. At least find somebody and they say a problem shared, it is half solved. You might find by sharing out, you start getting rays of hope. So not only giving it time, but also sharing, maybe with a friend, maybe a family member, or even a pastor, or even a psychological counselor. There are people who allowed us. And I believe by the time you have talked to 3, 4 people, you'll find your way out. And some of them may be the solution of the problem you are going through.
You're going through.
Yes.
Wow, thank you. So if you're there, you're feeling like the best option you have, the only option you have now is committing suicide, you can call us at 0112 522 118. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's see how it is the only option that is remaining. And I believe we will be able to see some light somewhere.
Yes,
because I feel it so deep in me that I would wish you first of all talk. Let's see if you feel that within your family circle you cannot talk to people because you're feeling embarrassed about it. Around your friends you cannot, in your church, because these are people you can talk. You need maybe to talk someone in the family you can trust, someone in the church that you can trust, friends that you're able to trust. But if you feel like all the circle that you have, you cannot trust anyone, are you able to trust Mr. Muchiri for that? Please don't die. Are you able to trust me with that? Please don't die. At least before then, let's talk. Let's talk about it.
Yes, we can talk about it.
Yes.
Maybe the other thing we need to discuss here is what are indicators.
Yes. What do you think? Are you able to tell that the way where Susan is headed to, it's not a real...
Yeah. One thing, viewers, when you hear a person, a spouse or a parent or a child telling you, I feel like I'll commit suicide, don't take it lightly. This is an indicator. Because when those, these things begin with the thinking about it, and then it gets actualized. So when you hear a person is talking about this, don't take it lightly. Otherwise, you have yourself to blame. When you'll be saying, I thought it was just joking around. And I've seen people telling a person, saying like, the way things are going, I think this year, this year will not end. I will not complete this year. I'll commit suicide. And they'll tell them, can I bring you poison you take? Can I bring you alone? You are joking with it. And before you know it, it could be the reality. So when a person start threatening, making such threats, take it seriously, talk to them and see what is really causing that. The other one is you might find somebody is isolating himself or herself, just keeping distance. From morning to evening is in closed doors. When people are there socializing, he is isolated himself, he is there. It's good to know what is causing this, because it could be an indicator that somebody is contemplating suicide. The other one, maybe the final one, I would say, is issue of abuse of drugs and substance abuse. When a person who was not abusing these things start now going that direction, he is trying to avoid,
run away from something.
And a time will come when he will realize the drugs was using are not helping. And so then, right?
That will be the end.
That will be the end. So these and others are indicators that when we see in a person, we need to because there could be indicators somebody is contemplating suicide.
In fact, research has it that most of the people who commit suicide, in one way or the other, they have mentioned about it. They have mentioned to someone, whether like you have said jokingly or like in anger, like I can even kill myself. You know, there are people who maybe in an argument when things get so heated, even a child tells the parent, "I'll kill myself. You don't love me."
Right.
The research indicates that most of the people who take their lives, they have mentioned it at some point.
Right.
So it is, as you're saying, it is good to take cues when someone mentions it to you, whether they are saying it in a joking mood, whether they are angry and they have just voiced it out. It's good. Now, what do we do to them after we have been able to realize the pointers we have seen?
When we realize we get these indicators, I think the good thing is begin a discussion with that person and be as objective as you can. Create good rapport, because some of these things, people are isolating themselves, going to drugs, just because they feel there is nobody. But if only they got somebody who will feel, they will feel he or she recognizes them and handles them objectively, and in love want to know what is going on in their life that is causing this. You might find they may be able to open up and help in as much as you can. If you found like at your level you are not able to help, there are people who are trained. You may want to refer this person to a pastor or a professional counselor who is trained, especially the psychological counselors. They are trained to unravel these things, either through counseling or even medically, because a psychological counselor will know a case that needs psychological services or psychiatrist services, and because in psychiatric service that's why now medications may be administered. Such interventions, and apart from that, also praying for them, because divine intervention is also key. Talk to them. Don't take it lightly. Intervene in as much as you can. Where you find you're not able to help, you can refer.
Yes, and maybe to add on to that, about the indicators, sometimes are you able to observe someone and you realize probably they are talking too much. That person used not to talk a lot, but now they are talking too much. The best thing I would think is you keep close to these people and listen as they talk. Listen to what it is that they are repeatedly talking about, so that you're able to help them to have an intervention on that particular area before it goes beyond that. And also sometimes you realize like someone might maybe a friend or a family member, and all of a sudden they have this habit, they are going through something. Maybe let's say they are broke, and so they ask you for money today, they ask you tomorrow, they ask someone else tomorrow. And we generalize and we say at some point we get tired. Then we say, that is him, that is her. When I see the call, I know they want to borrow me money. And that is not, because I think also there are issues to do with personality, you realize that that's not who this person has been for some time, but it's something that is coming up. And what the tendency is we have is we feel we want to distance ourselves from this person, or we want to ignore their cry. I would say that when someone cries over something for a long time, actually the best idea is not to help them with that what they're asking for, because they could be always telling you, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, and everybody else in the family has help until we are tired.
Yes, yes.
We are like, hey, even us, we have our own issues.
Yeah.
And finally, at some point, this person dies, and we are all saying, we wish we knew, we could have helped him.
Yes.
And it's true, because even the amount of money we give in that funeral, it would have been enough to help this person.
Yes.
I think the best thing would be, let's even stop giving this person the money they are asking about. Let's get close to them and understand what exactly is happening in this someone's life. Because once we get tired and we put our hands up and we let them be, they will now have a problem because they cannot approach the people they have been approaching. But remember, they still need that approach. They still need to approach someone, but they have been avoided.
Nice.
So finally what they do, they lose the purpose of living. They become hopeless.
Yes.
So I think also ideally we should help people not to get to a point of hopelessness. And helping people, it doesn't mean now we cater their needs. Like this person, if they are always asking you for money, that you keep giving them money, because you will never have, you will never give them enough for that. I think the bottom line would be to understand, but then what is happening in your life? Okay, they tell you they lost a job, and then now what are you thinking about tomorrow? Walk a journey with them, yes. Because they might have gotten into depression after losing job, and now they are not even thinking what to do next. So they will remain here until everybody gets tired with them, and they decide, now I take my life. Someone else is telling you they have been diagnosed with, let's take like maybe HIV and AIDS, and they are talking too much, and you're like, man, you're not the only one. There's so many people
struggling with
this. I mean, when you're telling them, even yours is better if you take medication, no one will even know. Look at someone else going through this cancer. You make their problem look minor, but remember it's minor to you, but to them it's still so big. Still too big. Someone I interacted with someone who lost a child, and years down the line, someone told her, stop talking about it when you're not moving on. Are you still remembering? And I was like, I wish this person realizes that this person still remembers. Probably the memories of her child is as fresh as they as today. You know. So I think sometimes when we want to see someone talking about an issue, we don't invalidate their feelings and I feel like this is too much. I think the reason, what we should be able to help and see. So listen, so what is it? Why has she 10 years down the line, 4 years down there, she's still talking about the child who died, what happened. Sometimes she's even crying about it. I think the best thing would be, now get close, get to know how can we help, so that at least even if it doesn't get to off your mind, she's able to handle it like everybody else, because it's true. She's not the only one who has lost a child. Others have lost maybe 2 or 3, and maybe for her she has just lost 1. But the thing is, how can we help them? If you're not able to help them yourself, where can you take them? What can you propose to them to do so that they also get help? So that we also help people before they reach the point of suicide. We also don't play a part of pushing them towards that side. Now,
and maybe you have said something very important, and also maybe you have the other indicator that I've mentioned is, have you ever seen somebody who who suddenly becomes highly temperamental? And that could mean that person is going through something causing him or her to be hyper. And that something can lead to suicide. Because sometimes I am temperamental. You ask something, the way I respond is because I don't want to be penetrated, because what ailing me is too painful, and I don't want anybody to penetrate me, because sometimes it's shameful. So I don't want anybody to.
Estin is about to fall.
Yeah.
Estin is about to fall. You can bring him here.
So Easton be there. So shameful, because there are things that we do in our lives and we want them to remain in us. So shameful. I don't want anybody to know. So asking me anything and think this one want to know the shame in me, the deep sinful secret that I've kept, and so that makes me hyper. The pastor talks to me. I remember a case of a person, a Christian in my church, and finally committed suicide. And I remember at one time he got close with me for nothing. Just asking him, we have not seen you in church. Are you okay? And the things I was told, I could not imagine, because I all through as a person who respected me as a pastor. So, and the least I was expecting was that later committed suicide because of things that were in him that were causing him to be hyper. I just wish I was able to get close to him, and if myself was not able, maybe refund him to somebody who could get close and try to see what is this, and maybe would have saved him. Maybe as we think of preventive, also is going to consider what are the curative. As we think of curative, you have talked of how do we prevent these things to going to certain extremes, and this is what we call preventive measures. What can we as a society, as a family, as a church do to prevent these things from happening? And I think the family support is there a way as a family. We have a way of looking at each other and understanding what is going on within our parents, our children, and our siblings. They have opportunities of bonding, because we live in a world of individualism. The African hospitality, the African socialism is gone. Now it's everyone for himself or herself, and God for us all. Is it possible? I think one way of reducing this, so that when I am in an acute problem, I know I have a father, I have a dad, I have a wife, I have a husband, I have a sister or brother I can open to. Maybe that's one way of the prevention. What about the society? You know, amongst the Kikuyus, we had the Meherega. We said when you talk Kikuyu, then you translate the clanism, where a person knew that beyond my family, I have the clan, where with people that we attest sisterhood and brotherhood. Is it possible if we nurtured these social interactions, the chamas, and I think the reason why we find many suicide cases among men are not women, is that women have so many meeting points, these groups where they talk themselves out. So those kind of things. Is the church we attend to, do we feel as a family? Where when we are there, I feel I'm in a community where, in case I have a problem, there's somebody I can speak to. Where a church looks at the needs of an individual at a holistic level, because you have a tendency of thinking of taking people to heaven without realizing before they go to heaven, they have to live here on earth, and they are going through a lot. So as the church leaders, we need to have a way of making the church a family where I feel I have a belonging. And so there be a problem, I will not want to contemplate suicide because I know I can go to brother so and so. I can go to sister so and so. Even before I reach the pastor, I know there is somebody I can talk to.
Yes.
So these psychosocial groups, fellowship, support is very much needed. Then maybe the government need to help because on law enforcement, because now when there is issue of drug and substance abuse, and I have seen a mad person in town and is smoking, and you ask yourself, where did he get a cigarette to smoke? Is it that somebody just threw it and he picked it, or somebody gave him? These people, you find they are drunk. Who give them beer? And the law enforcement can clap a whip on those people who are traffic illicit drugs. And this way, then again, we will reduce cases of suicide.
Even the law, you find a lady who has been widowed and all her properties have been taken by the in-laws, and she have been left feeling hopeless in life. So she decides, I will kill myself and even kill my children because she cannot see tomorrow. What if the government was able to come in and make it the law easy to assess, because it's there.
It's there.
Just like what
the chief of the area.
The idea is the law is there. It's only that justice is not served for people when they require it. And when you talk about church, I also see another picture whereby when a pastor, we realize that a certain believer is coming to office for prayers after every month. They are back, you are praying. After you are back, you're praying. Ask yourself, apart from the prayers, don't tell them they have little faith. Because even Christ doesn't need us to have a whole bank of faith. He actually needs as little as a mustard seed. So the idea of pastor saying that it is your faith that is not working. What if now we go to the next level and want to understand what is her problem? What is his problem really? Apart from praying for you. Because you pray for me, as you are praying, my mind is not even there. I'm still thinking what the problem that was there. I'm thinking about it. So I'll come this month, the next month. I think also it's a cumulative effort for all of us that a pastor may notice that I will now not pray for you again. Let's now look at things clearly. What exactly is happening in your life? We cannot pray for you that your business went down in January, then it is doing well in February, then March we are praying for you, then and it continues. We could try and help and see what is the problem here, what is the underlying problem, and it is solved. Let's not generalize and say this one goes to every pastor for prayers. Those are people who are in this church today, tomorrow. I think as a family or as Fred, you who has noticed, instead of telling us that this person goes to every pastor in time, get to understand what could probably be her problem. Because after she has gone round to all pastors and she is going through something, the next thing will be, actually even pastors are avoiding her. They come for prayers, anaonekana at the queue, and the pastor says, do not let that one enter in my office. But I think, yes, we can have an effort that we live in brotherhood, sisterhood, that you're able to see someone from a distance and you're able to realize they have a problem and we come in and help.
Maybe adding on that, a case at hand, I know of a case of a lady who had domestic problem in her family and expelled, empty-handed by the husband, and found herself in the church in a kesha, and met the husband, and the pastor told him, this is what has happened to me. And the pastor told her, spend with us in this kesha, you'll be helped. And so the whole night they prayed for her, and what she was imagining, by the daybreak the pastor will say, we have a person here who has this condition, let us contribute something for her. And so in the morning they were all given a blessing and let go. And so the lady left empty-handed. She said that night, as they worshipped there, she was counting many people, and they could see, if these people give each 50, I have enough money to take me to my parents wherever they are. But then she was taken empty-handed. Now, if that lady did not get help from the church, she was a possible candidate for suicide.
Yes, sure.
Isn't it?
Yes.
But that night, she went to a bar, to a restaurant, and she sat at one corner. And one Mulevi who was drinking was concerned, who is this lady? And went to her and listened at her predicament. That man removed 1,000 Kenya shillings and went to the other Walevis. Fanyeni kama mimi. Do like what I have done. So everybody was giving whatever they have. And that lady says, by the time she left that place, she had 80K. Which was the best place?
I'm still there. I'm still the best. Yeah, you testing me. I would say the best place to be is in a church, not in a bar. Don't look at the material things, my brother. Don't be deceived. But yes, the point is at home. The possessions of our heart. Let's not pretend. Well, doesn't mean being in a bar is better than being in a church. I hope that is not the point.
That's not the point I'm making. I want to say the best place to be is in the church.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Allow us to just take a glass of water, then we'll come back with part 2. So keep watching. This is the end of part 1. We'll continue to discuss about suicide, committing suicide, and how we can help each other so that we can all grow a healthy society. And because, when you die, if you commit suicide and you die, you not only, in fact, for you, it's done. Because I will, maybe in the part 2, he will tell us about now the judgment about those who commit suicide, if he is in a position to answer that. But idea is, it's not just you who loses. Even us, we are left crying. Your children, your sisters, your parents. I mean, you're making a loss to so many. That job you are working in there is an input that you're putting, no one else is able to put. So it's a loss for everyone. That's why we are putting time here to help each other. So for now, bye.
Bye.
Have you subscribed? Please do.
Please subscribe to Susie Yule Diadem. Follow us. We have a lot of hot shows that we have there, and some are live as we talk, on the air as we talk. There are a must view content, and I'm saying a must view, because if you don't watch this, you'll be losing a lot.
Wow. Thank you, guys. See you in the next video.
Bye.